Hi kids, it's Bunny with another junk journal, and this one I call Serenity, and I think it's my best one so far. Of course, I think that about each one. It's hardback with a pretty floral cloth cover and a nice picture, and held together with a green silk sash. And inside this chunky baby, there's an envelope on the inside of the cover, which closes with a magnet, so it will stay closed. Inside of it is a journaling card, blank on the back so you can write on it, and a letter from the maker, me, about how one can use the junk journal. And here is a large tag, also blank on the back so you can journal on it. And the pretty illustrations throughout this book are from 3 different kits by the Paper Cameo on Etsy. And she does lovely work. And here's some embroidery. And in this tuck are a couple of journaling cards. This one and several of them I edged in gold wax. And here is a tag that also has a lace pocket on it with a journaling tag in it. You can write on the back of both of them. And of course there's lace on the edges of many of these pages, all different kinds of laces. This is a page from a vintage book, Nebraska History. Very old, very fragile. And here's some handmade paper with pretty flower petals and a doily. And this is a page from a Cinema Arts magazine of 1937. Most of the blank pages are coffee dyed. And down here I have a cluster made of fabric, lace, and a button. And several of those throughout the journal. Those are fun to make. And here's a vintage sheet music. This is coffee dyed vellum, crackles nicely. A page from Edith Holden book. And in this tuck there's a journaling card and a photograph of 3 nice youngsters. And a little envelope, and has a card inside with a sentiment written on it. And this is a piece of authentic vintage ephemera, insurance policy from, what year was that? 1919. And we have some rice paper, more Paper Cameo goodness. And in this tuck is a journaling card embellished with a little gold, and just a picture of butterflies and some vintage ephemera, a ticket from 1952. Tassels, yay! And in this one are a couple of journaling cards and a teeny tiny envelope. Inside of it is a vintage foreign stamp. And continuing on, here is a little scrappy book of scraps. Just paper you can write notes on or whatever. just hung over the top. Fabric ruffle. And I gave this girl a ribbon skirt. In this tuck is a journaling card and another journaling card. And a big old tag. And another vintage ephemera agent stub. Not good for passage. Oh, too bad. And this is some vintage wallpaper. Pretty color. Here's a paper bag with a journaling card and a cabinet photo, vintage, authentic. And this is a page from a vintage Creole cookbook. Some handmade paper. A page from another vintage book of some kind. Can't remember now. In this tuck, there's journaling cards and a little tag. Rice paper, vintage sheet music, Edith Holden, and a doily, and more paper cameo illustrations. There's a cute little key charm on there. And in this pocket are some journaling cards and some vintage ephemera, a check from 1914, very old and authentic. And this is a teeny tiny envelope, and inside of it is a vintage foreign stamp. And in this tuck, there's some fake tickets and a journaling card. And another one of those tags with a pocket and a journaling card in it. And another paper bag, and this one is a vintage photograph of some ladies. No date, but oh, here it is. Here's that button card I was looking for. Vintage button card. And a little little fabric scraps. And there's a belly band. That's more vintage wallpaper. And the belly band is a notebook, a small notebook with small ephemera, and you can jot notes in that. In this tuck is a journaling card and a vintage photograph of some people in a boat having a nice time, and a big old tag. Handmade paper, vellum, magazine, book, sheet music, and in this tuck is another journaling card and a little tag. And some vintage ephemera from the hotel restaurant Schonau in Erdenbach. A receipt of some sort. And date. Hard to make out the handwriting. And here's Another envelope with a card inside with a sentiment. Here's some really cool tassels. I love those floppy tassels. More rice paper. Edith Holden. And in this stock there's a journaling card. And this is a vintage label from a box of seed packets. It's not a seed packet itself, but a label, but it's vintage. And here's some other ephemera. A cigar manufacturer's receipt. 1939. And also another teeny tiny envelope with a vintage foreign stamp in it. Edith Holden. And in this pocket there's a photograph of a very agreeable young man with a dog. No date. And a journaling card. And vintage ephemera ticket. And here we have another journaling card. Another one where everyone seems upset except for the serene lady who's blowing a dandelion. And here is another tag with a pocket and a journaling card. Here is more vintage wallpaper. I did a little stenciling on the back. Vintage Creole cookbook. It's a paper bag with a couple of journaling cards in it. There's another lovely journaling card. And another. And some illustrations of some vegetables. And a small envelope. And in this one is another little card with a sentiment on it. Another fabric ruffle. Another belly band. On this belly band, in this belly band, there's a vintage postcard with a serene lake view from 1921, I think. And here is a letter. There's a letter inside from 1929. Good luck reading the handwriting, I'll tell you. And here are some more journaling cards. Lovely ladies. And more vintage ephemera. A little ticket. More Edith Holden. A hair. We'll get rid of that. No, actually it's probably from the silk sash, you know, a thread. And here are some more lovely ladies. And another one of those vintage seed packet box labels. And here's a paper bag, and in it are a couple of journaling cards, some ladies reading. And in this stock there's a journaling card and another one and a little tag. And we come to the end And in the end, I tucked away some vintage ephemera, a report card from Orange High School. There's a report card in there. And there's a couple of journaling cards on the back. And I'm also including another notebook, which I have put on the other side of the room, so I can't get it right now, but it made this much too fat, so it'll be separate. So that is Serenity, and I hope you'll visit my shop, and I hope you like it. Thank you. Bye-bye.